Welcome to my space. I'm Nat. Find my roleplay character blogs, social links, and everything else in the description box. Like, subscribe, and enjoy the video. I'm going to cover the hefty topic of how to even play on a GTA Fivem server. Specifically, this video is for playing on a server called ProdigyRP. If this is your first time playing and you do not have a character yet, I suggest first watching my video on how to set up a character. You can follow all the helpful steps I've used to create this character. We will log in at the Lumbank apartments to begin. If you're relogging and want to return to a location your character was, then there will be a location listed above Lumbank apartments. That will spawn where you logged out last. There will be no selectable location at the top if you're freshly logging in after a restart. Now that we are somewhere nice and golden, let's start with going over the hotkeys. There are a lot of hotkeys, so let's focus on the Fivem hotkeys. Many of these won't apply unless you are working a certain career or are an admin. Some of the most useful hotkeys to know though are HUD Show IDs. This will show your state ID as it's called in-game. Also shows other players their state ID. State IDs are used for a variety of things, like sending money through banks. You also need these IDs if making a report ever out of game. Another useful hotkey is HUD Toggle HUD, for hiding the intrusive HUD for a better immersive roleplay experience. There's Phone Accept End Call, for quality of life when accepting and hanging up calls. Tackle, if you ever plan on chasing someone and want a non-lethal method of stopping them. Make sure you ask for consent before tackling people otherwise. Lastly, let's check out the vehicle section for locking doors, cruise control, seatbelt, and more. Note down what is important or change what you need to. These hotkeys should help make your life more comfortable. With the hotkey section conquered, let's talk about the Alt key. The Alt key is used to interact all over the world with various things, like grabbing something out of a vending machine quick, interacting with NPCs for jobs, paying for food when you get those munchies, taking a seat somewhere to relax, tipping a stripper in the club, even opening up the back of vehicles. Explore all around and find all the things you can interact with. There are a lot of uses for the text bar far beyond expressing your character with a /me, even if packing a bong dangerously on the edge of a railing is important peak roleplay that absolutely need to be expressed. All commands start with a /, however for some reason on this server they work even without it if the command is legit. If you type a / and begin typing out a command, it will often list all the available commands with that name. This is a way to find some commands you might never have known existed. You can directly type in animations to use them with /e, then the animation name. Remembering the name of your favorite emotes and typing them often is quicker than loading the HUD. You get 9 animation keybinds, but there are far more than 9 ways to express yourself. I personally love using /selfie. Cheese! You can use a command called scene, which will allow you to place a text scene where your character is looking. I suggest looking in first-person mode when setting up a scene to ensure you place it where you intend it. Make sure your scenes are realistic in their presentation when it comes to roleplay. Scenes are a great way to help elevate a roleplay situation you're setting up. To delete a scene, you can type scene delete. Make sure you clean up your scenes. If you walk into an establishment and the music is bumping so hard it's rocking your mind, there's a very useful command to dull down the whiplash. Music volume is the command. If you have some weird things on your screen, it is often from the chat box. You can clear it away with /clear. Lastly, a great command to know is AFK. This stops your character in a stationary stance from being kicked for AFK. Not every roleplayer is always moving. Next up to learn about is the various HUDs. First one is F1. The F1 HUD contains a lot of useful access to such things as perks, clothing options, groups, showing cash, and a whole lot more. Some HUDs will only show up when they are available. The build menu is only available when you are in a place you have rights to build, for instance. You can access a whole vehicle HUD, which will switch seats and more while in a vehicle. And if you're trying to take out a vehicle, you won't have access to the garage unless you're near an appropriate parking spot. Find all sorts of HUDs for things. Never know what you might find you can do. Next button is F2. We got our main inventory on the left, and the right is the ground inventory. Your utility menu is for all things equipped to the body. Let's get our phone set up while we are here. Looking at our main inventory, we can see we have a phone and also a SIM card. We will want to equip this SIM card into the phone before we can use it, just like real life. With the SIM card installed, we now have to equip the phone. Access your utility inventory at the top right, or press E. Equip the phone in the phone slot by dragging and dropping. You can equip a lot of things in the world, like equipping a tool for various forms of work, even putting a bag on so you can carry more junk. Speaking of bags, if you manage to get yourself one in the future, they got some restrictions. One thing you need to know about bags is if you carry anything inside of them, the item will not be usable till it's placed inside the main body of your inventory. So if you're wondering why you can't place that piece of furniture down, it's too deep in your bag. If you want an in-depth guide on placing furniture and building, refer to my building video, where I go into detail on building. Switching back to the main inventory, this space is used for dropping things into the world. A quick way to transfer items onto the ground or into your inventory is to hold Shift. If you want to give someone an item, you can select to give an item. Then just face and look at the character you want to give something to and press E. Simple gift giving, but ensure it goes to the right person if in a crowd. Also, instead of giving someone something, you can toss it away. Great for when you don't want to walk all the way to the trash can. Fudge! Now that we fully understand the inventory, let's move on to the phone. Access your phone with F3. First thing we will discuss is how to find your apartment room at the Lumbank Apartments. Every character gets a base apartment assigned to them, so here's how you find your room number. Direct over to the settings on your phone. In the settings, select Personal Details. Looking down at the bottom, we can see our apartment room. First two numbers are the floor number, the second two are always the door number. If you are on a single-digit floor, there will only be 3 numbers. The last 2 are always your room number. Finding your apartment should be no problem now. You also get free parking in the garage. Every time you log in, your floor and room number will change. Be mindful you have to check this often if your character makes the Lumbank Apartments their main place of residency. Let's further explore the phone. Before we go hog wild installing potential malware, let's talk about our character's contact details. Here we can set up a name and add a photo. You can change your contact details to anything you want. You can share your contact details from here with people nearby. Great for spreading a nickname. With our character contact details set up, let's return to the main screen and look over the apps. There are a lot of apps. I'm going to focus on just a few. Let's download the bank. With the bank app, we can view how much funds we have in our bank account. You can also send transfers through your phone to other characters, which is often used in trading on the streets. The Labor app is another app we'll want to download. This is how you access the NPC civilian-based jobs. You can see there are a lot of jobs you can do. For other ways to make money, you have to explore around. Not everything will be on the phone. The last app you might want to get is Zoomer, a great method to get around for cheap till you get your own vehicle. Never know who you meet. Have fun exploring all the other apps. Just remember to not always be on a screen. Another screened item we will go over quick is the tablet in your character's inventory. It isn't the most impressive thing. Perhaps if you work hard enough around the state, maybe you'll find some extra stuff popping up. Actually afford a house, perhaps? Nah. Let's move on to all the different animations. You can access all the types of animations for your character through the F1 menu. The choices are Expression, Walk Styles, and Animations. Expressions are your character's facial animations. These can help give subtle hints of how your character could be feeling inside. Some are a bit wacky looking. Maybe you want to look angry, a bit sad, exhausted at the end of the day. Up to you. Walk styles are how your character walks around. There are a lot of different walk styles that totally change how your character is perceived. Have a look at all of the ways you can change your character's walk style and how they can be adopted differently into your role-playing. For the main bulk of animations, there are 2 types: stationary animations and unrestricted animations. Stationary animations are animations that lock your character into place in a full-body animation. You won't be able to move around while using these animations. Most animations are stationary animations. When you're finished with an animation, all animations you activate can be disabled quickly by pressing the X key. Unrestricted animations are animations that allow your character to move around while using them. Animations that are unrestricted are few in between, but can be used in a lot of variety of crafty ways. Unrestricted animations can also sometimes be combined with other animations your character enters. Some animations are a bit jank. You may encounter dance animations that don't seamlessly loop, or other animations that can change the way your character is looking. It is important to always test animations before using them live in a roleplay. Nothing is more embarrassing than totally missing that wall you meant to peek around. Oops. Lastly, you can position animations. The best way to do this effectively is to be in first-person mode. It can be used for all sorts of great roleplay purposes. This is great for photography staging and setting up scenes exactly how you envision them. That completes this video and all the things you may need to know. Hopefully this helps save someone from making a fool of themselves out in the world. Lastly, at the end of your day when feeling too overwhelmed, you can press F8 and type quit. Peace, love, immerse into another reality.